Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is an apple cider box. It measures 3.5 by 4.5 by 3/4 and it opens like this. Alrighty, and inside I have 2 packets of apple cider. I got these from, actually Walmart has them in boxes just like hot chocolate. They're instant. What I'm using for this is the More Than Autumn bundle along with the Spotlight on Nature dies. Okay, and the paper I'm using I got from the Scrapbook Expo. I think it's called Autumn Breeze, but that's not Stampin' Up since they didn't have much this year. Alright, we need a piece of Cherry Cobbler that is 10.25 by 8. 2 of these circles, one from Cherry Cobbler Cardstock and one from the pattern paper that are 3.25 inches. I cut from Cherry Cobbler the word apple. And then for the paper, we need 2 pieces. I did one of each of these that are 3.25 by 4.25. 2 that are 1.5 by 4.25. 2 that I rounded one of the long sides of that are 3.25 by 3/4. And then for the long sides, we have 1/2 by 4.25. And for the short sides, 3.25 by 1/2. All right, and all that will be on my blog. This is my host code. Please put that in for any purchases under $150, not including your shipping and tax. All right, we're going to start on the 10.25 inch side. Score at 1 3/4, 2.5, 6, and 6 3/4. Turn it to the 8 inch side and score at 1, 1 3/4, 6 1/4, and 7. All right, now you're going to fold and burnish your score lines. All right, now we want to put it so that this big strip here that is 3.5 over here, and over here is 1 1/4, and then there is a 1 inch strip on the top and the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so let's start over here. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and then take off these 2 rectangles. Go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the bottom, and wedge both sides of the square. Let's left. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the bottom rectangle and wedge the square. And then we're going to take these 2 rectangles off. Okay, now we're going to turn it around and we're going to do the same thing, just the opposite way. All right, so we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and then take those 2 rectangles off. Go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle, and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the rectangle and wedge the square. And then we're going to take these two longer rectangles off. Okay. And now we need a corner rounder, and we're going to round the corners of these top and bottom pieces. Okay. And that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. Okay, now we're going to take liquid glue, and I'm going to put it on these two tabs next to this larger piece here. And we're going to take the score line on the tab and match it up with the side of that rectangle that's near it. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on these other tabs and attach it to the other side of the same rectangle. Okay, oops. And that's our box. All right, now we need our DSP. And let's do these big pieces first. We're going to put this large piece right on the bigger of the flaps on the top of it. And then we're going to take the stripes and put it on the underneath of that flap. Okay. And then these flaps over here, we're going to put the flowers on the top and the stripes on the bottom. Okay, and then these two flower pieces that we rounded the corners, we're going to put here and here. Okay, and then the long sides and the short sides are the flowers too. Okay, and now we have everything on there. All right, now let's do some stamping. Okay, so we need some basic white. And we're going to use Tuxedo Black, Pecan Pie, and Cherry Cobbler. So first let's do the Tuxedo Black. Do the cup and the apple inside the sleeve. And the whipped cream. Okay. And then with the sprinkles, I'm using pecan pie. And for our I'm going to wait to put the cider word on until we know where everything is placed, but that will be our cherry cobbler. Okay, so I'm going to cut them out and I'll be right back. All right, to color these, I'm using 5 markers: light and dark pecan pie, dark old olive, light pumpkin pie, and dark cherry cobbler. So with dark cherry cobbler, I'm going to do the apple. And then with dark old olive, I'm going to do the leaf. Okay, for the apple cider part of the cup, I'm going to start with light pumpkin pie, and then I'm going to go over it with light pecan pie. Okay, and then for the sleeve, I'm just going to use dark pecan pie. Okay. All right, now we need our 2 circles, and I'm just gonna, I thought I got everything, but there's a few little die cuts to punch out. All right, and then I'm going to glue these together back to back. I'm going to try to line up the openings. If you can, it's okay. And this is the side we'll be using. So I'd say, let's measure it. Almost an inch up from this part of the bottom is where we're going to put the word cider, and I'm going to make these lines straight this way, and I'm going to put it right there. So I'm going to use some Cherry Cobbler ink, but you could also put this on a piece of cardstock and just cut it and put it in. There we go. It says cider. All right, now we're going to glue these 2 together. And then we're going to put on some dimensionals. And I'm just going to put this sideways here, just like that. All right, and then I'm going to get my silicone mat and some glue and a piece of sponge. I'm going to flip over the apple and just put some glue on here. All right. And then we're going to put the apple right above the cider. And it's going to be on the drink a little bit. And we'll just attach it, and then it'll go down onto the paper. Just like that. All right, now we need our box. Let's put 2 apple ciders in there. All right, now I want this about right in the middle. So I'm going to measure it, and then I'm going to hold it and get a pencil. Make a mark on the back here. And this side is where we're going to put our glue. Okay. Let's just flip over and move it to where that line is. Okay. Alrighty. And while that's drying, I'm going to make a bow out of, this is from the mini catalog. It is Pecan Pie center stripe ribbon. And I'm just going to make a little bow. And we're going to put that right here. And I'm going to put a glue dot and then some liquid glue too. Okay. And then we're just going to place this down right up here. And maybe I'll cut these a little bit shorter. Okay. Then we're going to open this. And for the closure, I'm going to use some adhesive Velcro dots. You could use a 5/8, but right now all I have is 3/8. Put one right there. then this one on top. And then make sure it's down correctly. Reinforce them. Okay, that's done. All right, and for the final touch, I'm going to use some Swirl Dots. And I'll use the Pecan Pie ones. I'll put one right here on the drink, one above the cider, and one down here. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the link to my blog that has all the directions written out and the link to my shop. Please subscribe and hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. All right, have a great day. Bye.